Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I'm Scott. You're in the Prog Corner, and today we are doing a live playthrough, an actual live reaction as well, because we are listening to the brand new album from Andy Foster's Kite Parade. It's called Disparity. It's his third album, and dude, I am such a huge fan of the first two albums. I couldn't be more excited. Andy Foster's in the house. Who you got there with you, Andy?
Hi everybody, this is my partner Nikki Doughty, who's
hey Nikki.
She's contributed heavily on co-lyrics. So yeah, good.
Oh, nice.
Good team partner to have in the house, as they say.
Oh, this is going to be great fun. And joining me again is none other than Kevin from Prog Radio, setting this up as a live simulcast on Prog Radio as well. Kevin, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great, and we're simulcasting, so the folks on Prog Radio are tuning in.
Okay, good deal. We got the live chat going, the listener lounge over on Prog Radio. And yes, so anyway, for those of you who maybe don't know who Andy is, what Kite Parade's all about, before I turn it over to Andy, I'm going to let my big mouth run a little bit and just say, you've been sleeping, fool, if you haven't been listening to Kite Parade. First album came out in 2022. Very good. Made my honorable mentions for that year, but then he followed it up last year with Retro. Just incredible. Absolutely made my top 25 of the year. So the trajectory is really, really strong here. I'm expecting nothing but amazingness from this third album, Disparity. Andy, tell me a little bit about the making of this album. Who's on the album? Because I know you have a couple guests here. Yeah. Just tell me a little something before we start listening to this thing.
Okay, well, guest-wise, we've got on drums this time around. We've got Jimmy Palagrossi from Zio. And
Zio, yeah. You know who turned me on to Zio, Andy?
Who's that?
Charlie Bramold turned me on to Zio.
Oh yes, yeah. So he was amazing, and I definitely thought I needed a change. I just fancied a change on this album rather than Nick Virgilio. So and he did an amazing job. And a guy who I've never actually met on bass, Marcin Polida, but he did a great job. He's over in Poland, I believe. And yeah, monster player, absolute monster. So I'm glad I found him. And did that all remotely, and that was great. So they're the members, and a couple of guests, which you'll hear later. Two female vocalists, Christina Booth from the Magenta, of course, did an amazing job, and Lindsay Ward from Exploring Birdsong. So really, that's amongst the sort of five of us. That's it, music-wise. Apart from I got a few guys. A little solo here, hammer solo from my mate Anthony Cooper, and some bongos and congas from my good friend Ron out in the Middle East. So nice. Apart from those on this album, that's it really. Obviously, musically, it comes from me, and so yeah. So that's
and I think there might be a couple people floating around. They, you know how we prog heads are. We look at the liner notes and who's playing, and it's like, oh no, Nick DiVirgilio's not around anymore. People worried about Nick DiVirgilio not playing with Neil Morris anymore, and that seemed to turn out all right. So don't worry about it. I'm here to tell you, this guy Jimmy is amazing. Wow, this guy
that was a great guy. He's a really great, yeah.
Yeah. So I am so excited to hear a little bit of this. Now, Kevin, you've been playing some of this already on Prog Radio, right?
Yeah, there were 3 singles that we've been rolling out, and no spoiler alert, they're pretty darn good.
Okay. All right.
Well, as you'll hear, it's basically a 1-track album with 9 sections. So when I was at Rob's studio back in whenever it was, May, June, July.
Okay, we're talking about Rob Aubrey, right?
Rob Aubrey,
the same cat that does all that magic with Big Train. If you're worried if this album is going to sound any good or not, I think that answered that question, maybe.
He's done his normal magic. So, but we were thinking I need a way, because it is 1 track, and obviously not a lot of stations going to play a 40-minute track on the radio. We need to find some edits that I can get out. So I listened to it. And there was 3 songs or 3 sections that sort of work on their own. So we made them, they sound sometimes a bit weird on the fade out because it would have been going into something else. But generally, they work for promotional purposes. So
Right,
that's
right.
what
So,
I've sort of sent out to you guys, which is
so we've got it ID'd out as how many tracks on this album?
there's 9.
Okay,
Yeah, 9 sections. Yeah. But in terms of where it came from, musically, it was written down back in 2020. In fact, whenever I start a new song, because I don't know what it's about, or I know because I do my lyrics last after everything else is completed, I always have a file name, and it's always the date that I start the tune.
Right.
And on this particular occasion, it was May the 3rd. So it was May the 3rd. That would have been 2020. So it was during lockdown in the UK, the whole big COVID thing.
Oh, yeah. We remember that.
Yeah. Well, I was staying with my mother actually, and out in the countryside for a few months because with all the rules you couldn't go out anywhere, and the situation with Nick at the time, we didn't have the space, so I was elsewhere for the first few months, and I set up in my mum's conservatory. I call it my studio, but it's not. It's what I do all my work on, which is the laptop I'm talking to now, and a small interface and my couple of little speakers. So that's my setup. I have my little keyboard behind me. Just I don't play keys, but I input stuff sometimes. And so I just took that up there and set it up, and I thought, okay, let's write some songs. So on the 3rd of May, I was just playing around with 4 chords that I've been messing around with on an acoustic guitar with a little melody, and that was just intention was just to start something and see where it goes, with no intention of it. About maybe 2 months later, finishing in about 40 minutes time, it was. I just started it to be a one-off track like I always do.
Yeah, and here we are now.
Yeah, I didn't want to finish.
Look at this. Look at how your little baby's like all grown up and whatnot. It's kind of good to see, right? And you get all these amazing guests on these records, and it's got to be a real gratifying feeling. But what do you consider to be your main instrument? Are you a guitar player first? Do you consider?
No, I would say the most natural is the saxophone. Definitely.
Okay.
And if I practiced, I think I could be a pretty good saxophone player. But I do enough for work. My daytime job is playing covers here, there, and everywhere. I do enough to impress people and to get the job done. But I'll be honest with you, once the gig's finished, it goes in its case, and I hardly ever get out again, which is a bit naughty of me. But I love playing the guitar, but it's always a struggle. I'm not a natural player. I'm self-taught. My technique is so bad that I've got to a point I can never get really good because my technique it's been so atrocious since the 80s.
Hey, that sounds like my golf game.
Move on, But,
my classical guitar teacher used to tell me that Steve Howe had the worst technique ever and never ever play like him. So I don't listen to what anybody says. I do whatever I want. And how much saxophone are we going to have in Disparity? Because honestly, the highlight to me of your entire discography thus far is on Merry-Go-Round, where the saxophone comes in the second half of the song, reiterating the main theme that was played on the guitar the first time, and it's just like that come to Buddha moment. It's just so amazing. Please tell me you didn't leave the sax in the case.
No. I did get out of the case.
Okay.
Not too many times, but it did make an appearance. I think it's just one, as far as I know.
Okay, well, Jeff Shilka has a question about your label, and let's talk briefly about White Knight and who they are and why you are releasing records with them.
Okay, well, White Knight is basically Robert Reed from Magenta and everything else, cyan,
every color,
all the colors.
So he's and another guy called Will, who's sort of in the background a little bit. So when the first album came out, or while I was sending out emails, of course nobody knew who the hell I was, but I approached a few companies. And once they were all interested in releasing The Way Home, but after looking at the ins and outs of the contracts and what worked for me, with White Knight was definitely the way to go. I think.
And it's got to be nice talking to an artist, right? Instead of a guy in a suit. Rob kind of gets it.
Because I mean, I've been listening to ever since I started listening to prog many years ago. I always knew of him. I knew his name. I knew his music, and to meet him, I went up to see him and Will in an office in Wales where they're based, right. And just to be in the room and they're listening to my music on the coming out of this laptop, and they're to see Rob's face going like, this is good, which it's a proud thing when you one of your, well, we'll say heroes, but somebody I definitely knew and respected, all for many years,
No, big fan. We love him. We love magenta. We love cyan. We love all the colors. But man, dude, I don't know about you. There's been a little bit too much jibber jabber here. I'm ready to hear some music, man.
Hey, just real quick though, is there a story? What about the lyrics, the songwriting?
Well, I'll try to hand over to Nikki here.
Okay.
So, what I get is the melody of Andy just stripping it all back and giving me the melody line.
What Nikki means about when I write a song, I do everything musically. Lyrics always come last, absolutely last. In fact, when I finish, I don't know what it's about, and I listen to it and go, "What does this feel like? What sort of atmosphere is this given to me?" But whenever I'm writing a song, from each chord to the next chord, it brings in a melody, and the melody line dictates where the music goes. So what Nikki's mean is that I've said, right, here's the backing track, here's the melody line, and what's that mean to you?
Yeah, and then we had, I think Andy had this concept that he had in his head about the money and the cost of living crisis that was happening in the UK at that time after the COVID pandemic, and sort of gave that to Paul initially, who'd come up with the opening section about this idea of fraternal angels and people who had passed, and our loved ones looking out for us and trying to help us solve this crisis for ourselves. And then from that, I think we were exploring, well, let's look at the cost of living crisis through different characters and different people and how that's affecting different people. So what Disparity tries to do is explore economic disparity through different people and how that's affecting different people.
Okay.
So that's what we've tried to do. Each section sort of tries to look at those different characters and what's happening for them.
Yeah. I'm not a political person. Right. I don't want to preach political, but I do. Everybody knows that the disparity of wealth around the world is ridiculous. And I came across that quote which you'll hear coming up. It's from Oxfam. It just basically said at the time, which was from 2014, this quote was that something like the 86 richest people, just 86 people, own more than the rest of humanity, which is ridiculous,
Well, in economics, they refer to something called a Gini coefficient, which actually puts a number on the disparity of income around the world. And what we've seen is since 1972, 1973, apparently, it's just been this crazy upward spiral where the rich just keep getting richer, the poor keep getting poor. And that's not normal. It actually hadn't been that way throughout human history. So hiding our head in the sand and saying, well, that's just the way it is, that's not good enough, man. Because it's only been that way for the last 50 years or so.
And the bottom line of what that means is that I'm springing ideas out of my head, but I'm assuming that all the world's problems could be solved.
Sure.
If money was spent,
Well, this will scare you all. There's like 300 billionaires in America. If you took all of their assets, not just their income, for everything they own, that would pay the American government deficit for 50 days.
Wow.
So that's, to me, scary.
Yeah, it is a little scary. But, Andy, you're absolutely right. All the problems that we're facing in this world are man-made. So guess where the solutions are going to be? Yeah, we got the solutions too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say that we try to not stick to exploring just monetary terms of wealth as well. We tried to touch on, the disparity of wealth in terms of love and loss and other types of wealth, so to speak.
Yeah, nobody wants to listen to a doctoral thesis on economics. We want, this is a prog rock album, man. So
why does that wizard have 2 wands and he only has 1 wand? That's what we want to hear.
That's right. Exactly. Well, Kevin, if you're
all right,
ready, I got
this first song starts a little slow, so be patient. It's actually going to play. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Just because I've been living with this music for years now, 4 years.
Yeah.
But to see Scott's face, to actually witness somebody who's never heard a note before,
amazing. When we did the little test before we went live to check our volumes, that's the first notes of Disparity I've heard.
So yeah, well, enjoy.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. And again, it starts a little quiet, so be patient. Here we go.
Okay.
These first 4 chords you'll hear is what I was messing around with when I first started. So this one started it. Yeah.
Didn't take Jimmy long to find the pocket.
Got a little bit of 12-string guitar though, which I hardly ever use, but we had it here to push it along with it.
We leave the ground, head above the clouds, eventually we find out the almost streams. We're looking down from up above, all life is one, there are no boundaries. Over the villages, the towns and cities, capital, metropolis. Do you sense the greed or feel the need or share the best? Who rules do you concede? We group in flocks, is what we know, pursue away into the winter snow.
These are the lyrics that my friend Paul came up with.
Goes it been and go, we intertwine in flight as we are one. Far down below, fraternal angels are divided by fictitious walls. If only they could fly and rise above the lies that opulence bestows. Then they could all reach out to new horizons. One day could change the world, make it beautiful to see.
That was pretty cool chord progression there. You're expecting it to go one way and it doesn't go there. And you can tell that's not Nick drumming.
No, completely different.
You can tell. Totally different sound. Those toms are like really bone dry. I love it.
Give out the endless need for all the power.
redistribution of wealth, the desperate plight of millions of people in underdeveloped countries, when you see so few haves and so many have-nots, when you see the greed and the concentration of power within you, did you ever have a moment of doubt about capitalism?
Official figures show the cost of living in the UK is increasing at its fastest pace in nearly 30 years.
You know, I live off my credit cards when I don't make enough money.
The world's 86 richest individuals now own as much wealth as the poorest half of humanity. 3.5 billion people.
Not bad for somebody whose instrument is the sax.
Right? That didn't give me a Genesis vibe there at the end at all. No. That was awesome. That was so good.
So I made some note. I just realised that this is very high for me. When I started it 4 years ago, I'll tell you what I do now, because I'm getting older. I want to future-proof. So
Yeah.
once I finish and I'm actually in the recording the vocals stage of the process, I'm not just sound like a chipmunk and just like, yeah. And unfortunately, this is 4 years ago. And when I came around, I thought, oh my God, this is so high. This is so high. So a lot of falsetto. You know, if I'd written this album, 20 years ago, I'd be screaming out those top notes, but I can't do that anymore.
That's
But
right.
now,
Yeah.
nowadays, any if I need to, I'm always thinking about that, and I detune at least by a tone, and I'm trying.
There you go.
I'm
Yeah,
playing
that's
some chords, but
that's
this was
the trick a
quite-
lot of
quite
us
that.
oldies know.
So some of these notes are like, wow.
But yet, in all, you're talking about your voice and maybe not being 100% secure in it yet. It feels like it's a little higher in the mix in that song. So you're clearly not too bothered by it. That sounded great. Real nice driving track. Like you said, the 12-string guitar adding a little propulsion to the rhythm on it. Real good. Love the drum sound. Jimmy in the pocket. Super good.
Okay, now a little tiny one.
Oh yeah,
Here we
shorty
go.
here. Okay, 96 seconds.
Wow.
Hungry child should not exist. There's more enough for all, for everyone. Open your heart to all.
Nice.
This is basically an instrumental track. That just sets it up. Thank you, guys.
I love it when there's a chord I didn't expect. I go like, what? What was that? That was awesome.
Well, you got to
Robert-
remember, it's jettisoning you to the next bit. They really aren't songs. It's just like
No,
this
no,
whole
no.
thing.
Robert in the studio wasn't expecting that chord either, and he kept saying, "Is that right?" I was like, yeah.
Did you really
It's
mean
in my
that?
head. It's
No,
in
it
my head.
resolves okay. I knew it was right, after the fact. But as soon as that chord hit, I'm like, hey, wait a second. That's
And Rob knows where to on that one. He knows where. I always put about a bass pedal question mark, and he knows where to put the Taurus pedals in.
Yeah.
for that effect. You know?
Yeah, and the answer to the question, Taurus pedals, yes or no? Answer is always yes. It's always yes. When's it no, Kevin? It's never no.
So this next song is where you're going to hear your first guest vocalist, correct?
Exactly. This is Christina from.
Woo!
Yeah.
I love Christina Moon.
Early morning commute, just another day grinding onward, trying to muddle through, help my family get by. Why is it so hard? Why is it always painful? Just hoping to find my grace out there. In my shopping bag, same old lousy pay every Friday. Overdues piling up, not enough to go round. Who is above me, holding me down now? Sinking, I'm starting to feel I'm drowning, dreaming I was free. Release me now to fly
Sneaking in that measure of 5 in there, huh?
above all of this madness. I'm looking down at what is my life. Is this all there is till the end?
You're a slippery snake, Andy. You know, I'm starting to figure out something about your songwriting. A lot of times people like put in chords and it's sometimes like, oh, I don't know if that makes sense. Sometimes you don't change a chord and it makes you go, why didn't he change chord there? That should be a different. Oh, man, that was awesome. And somebody said that our girl Christina sounded a little like Petula Clark there. Oh, man, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I am a ginormous Petula Clark fan. So anytime
that was recorded at Rob Reed's studio. I went down to Wales and they were working on some Magenta stuff, and we tied in this session. It was did a great job, really great job.
And a well-placed song in 6/8. You know, we were in 4 on the first 2, which you kind of want to start your album with a driving 4 on the floor kind of feel. We got that, and now we're in the 3rd track here. A little bit of 6/8, slipped in a couple measures of 5, just to remind the kids that this is a prog rock album. Okay, I'm starting to get invested now.
All right, here we go.
This is a track about a guy who has the money. One of that has the money.
Shiny shoes, tailored suit, all the bling and I'm ready. Swanky mouth looking down at the plebs below. Buy and sell, how the hell can I screw you over? Once I've cash off a dash and here I go. Check the stocks, make a mint and I get in my limo. Speeding down to the town like I own the place. Read the news on the blues and I'm making the killing.
Nice.
All the pain, that's a shame, but it's okay. 'Cause when the storms roll in, and when the rains come down, that's all okay, I'm here to stay. city shit, take a hit, I can make my tomorrow. Another war profit still starting up again. In the club, I'm surrounded by models. VIPs sing for me, oh life is fine. Life is so earthquake, keep your shape, never makes a difference. When it's down, I supply building up again. All in all, day to day, I'm getting richer. Built the cash, make a stash, and I don't care. No, I don't care.
Oh yeah, I love Frankie. There's my mate, Anthony on Helen.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have made the rich guy so good.
Cause when the storms roll in, and when the rains come down, I know this world is mine. And pray this
Okay, we're cross fading into the next one. Is there? That's what's going on. Okay. Is that like a Stevie Wonder clavinet in the background there, giving me all kinds of superstition funk, man?
Yeah, got a bit of that going on.
Oh man, with the Hammond, there's a lot going on in that piece, and I dig it because it seems like it just gets funkier as it goes along, right? It just keeps adding layers.
And there's a little lyric about when the storms come in and the rains come in. I always had that from day one, or when I got to that section, when I hit that bit, those words just came into my head, and so I wanted to keep that imagery in, and
Cool.
I managed to get it into the lyrics somehow. So
Yeah. And there's seems to be some tricky stuff happening rhythmically. It seems like a pretty basic song rhythmically, but I was hearing a couple things there. I'm like, I can't wait to go back and listen to that track because that song has got some stuff going on. Awesome.
The Frankie
All right.
Goes Hollywood thing is quite funny because I was on a cruise the other day, and Frankie Goes Hollywood's drummer was on the ship.
Oh, no way.
So that was quite funny. But yeah, I love Frankie Goes Hollywood.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so this was one of the singles, so I have heard this one. Spoiler alert, is awesome.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so Nikki entirely wrote the lyrics for this,
Oh.
so all credit due to Nikki on this one.
And this would be Lindsay Ward singing, right?
Yep.
Lonely and remembering, thinking of brighter days. Chair is sitting empty. How did it end this way? You were mine. Nothing left but memories. Can't face another day. We should be together still. I close my eyes and pray you were here with me, living life without you, living life on my own. Isn't what we had dreamed, broken now, and I need you here.
Get a little Tears for Fears vibe for me.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, not a bad thing at all.
Thank you. All plug-in. Especially for you, Scott. There we go.
Yeah. I was feeling it. I knew it was coming. I thought we were going to get it the last little come down. But you tricked me. And yes, saxophone, blonde, and prog. For those of you that are going to come at me later on and say it doesn't,
We're going to have a Brent Andy sax off. Do you know Brent from Emerald City Council, Andy? Another album you'd like. You'd like that album.
We'll link them in.
It's actually a tenor sax in.
Living life without you, struggling here on my own, isn't what we had dreamed all along. I need you here right now, holding me. Right here by my side.
Basically, yeah, 99% of what we've got done is put a little snippet of Andy's four sounds.
All right. There we go. great track. That's very cool. I love how you're messing with that that descending chord progression that we've heard a million times before. That 1 to 7 to 6 to 5 suspended to 5, but it's not. It's different. It's not like we've heard before. Really, really clever. Very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, the solo, I just, as per normal, I just jam a lot, lots of different takes, and then try to sort of let loose and not do what I would do at work, which would be sort of going on to automatic. I literally should just get into a zone and just go for it. And if it takes 100 takes, and then I just look through those and go, oh, that's a bit of magic there, and just comp the solo, and then learn how to play it afterwards.
Yeah, that's the hard part. That's the hard part right there. Is what did I do?
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Next up is Forgotten.
All right. Forgotten Youth.
All right.
Heading down the street gets out my way. Hoodie up, head down, and I'm so loaded. Pushing through the crowd, I need a score. Gotta get my fix, I'm feeling edgy. Got my readies now again, I'm broke. Take your watch and cash, cause you mean nothing. Cut you up if you try to resist. Cut you up if you don't hand it over. Cause you mean nothing to me. Father figure beat me as a kid. Mother left me to my own devices. Got the hell out now, I'm finally free. Trying to survive, don't stand in my way. Cause I'm a victim of society. Try not to judge me, cause it's just not my fault. Injected now, I'm feeling free. Forget reality,
Yeah.
I'm flying above the clouds, I'm looking down. What could have been another lifetime? I'm trying, forgive me.
Okay, bring it down.
This section I thought I was sort of weird, froggy sort of doors type vibe, you know?
I love the modal stuff there. Unexpected notes pop up.
Injected now, I'm feeling
that. Smashing up a whole bunch of different genres, putting it all in one big stew, and I'm still trying to figure out that middle section.
Yeah, it's got a sort of a punky vibe. Whenever I'm writing a song on the session, the project, on the top you can make notes, different sections, and I put punky section on that one, punky bit.
Yeah, I was wondering where we were going. We were driving for the longest time between those two chords, right? What is that? A B flat and G flat, I think. Just back and forth. And I'm trying to guess, okay, there's going to be a third chord in here at some point. So my brain is trying to figure out what that next chord's going to be. Way wrong. Wrong. I guess so wrong. That's why I'm really, really loving this album so far. Very cool.
All right.
And, in terms of what I write at the top, this next section I put Alan Parsons' bit.
Okay.
Bits of it was coming into my head.
All right. Is there hope? Alan Parsons.
I hear it. Starting at point guard, 6'3", from North Carolina. Tony Banks wouldn't have played that chord. Teasing me with the major keys there. Not cool. Toggling back and forth there between the minor and the major. And I just got to say, this track is where I really, really am noticing Marcel's bass tone.
Oh,
Wow.
yes, yeah.
Wow. I can see why you're using him on this album.
Yeah, and I want it to be because it was one track. I thought the consistency of having one player would be great. Because recently, especially on retro, I'm doing most of the basses is what I've programmed. There's a few leftover tracks from old stuff from Way Home where Russell, my mate Russell, might have been on the album, but most of retro was programmed, and I thought as this is one track, it'd be nice to get a real player on for that consistency of sound and style, you know. And obviously, I still program it up and I send him the files, but he does his own thing, which is good.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's got a whole different sound to go along with Jimmy's different drum sound, particularly those rack toms. That's not Nick playing back there, man. This is a whole different thing. I'm digging it. What do we got next?
Make It Beautiful.
Oh, this is the longest track on the album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second to longest. There's a 740 by 3 seconds.
740.
Yeah, Broken was 3 seconds longer.
Oh, okay.
Slapping the bass.
I find it funny that songwriters always know the right key to put a song in. This bright, shiny song. Oh, it's an A. Of course it's an A.
For those in need now, there'll be a brighter day. No one is lonely. You are all family. Equality of wealth ensures no poverty. We are here. time when your struggle's over. All your endeavors mean you're surviving. 'Cause we are here.
That sounds cool.
Oh, for a rip.
Yeah, you can tell we're not an A anymore. It's a dark E minor.
I haven't heard that one yet.
That feels like the end of the album, but it's not.
Yeah, one more track. If you're not a believer yet, I don't know what to tell you if that last song didn't do it for you.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, I just, you're brain dead, or your heart made of black coal or something, because that was amazing. I love how you give me just enough darkness, right? You're in that bright, shiny A major. It could have just been a little bit too much, a little too saccharine. So what do? We throw a key change in there, go minor, go dark, go heavy with a little, metal riffage a little bit. But then we just come right back and everything's right in the world. That was great. That was great. And that's all in 7.5 minutes.
Exactly.
Cool.
Well, yeah. So now we get back to the finish, the run to the end, and let it
Let's
roll.
do it. Let's see
There we
how
go.
we end this thing.
Listen to Angels.
We're always here, please do not fear. The world will change, hope can be held again. With unity for all to see, you'll make the change. The world will end its pain. Far down below, fraternal angels are divided by fictitious walls. If only they could fly and rise above the lines of opulent stars, then they could all realize new horizons. Maybe could change the world, make it
That's Kite Parade's Hall of Fame right there.
Baby can change the world, make it beautiful.
There he does it again.
They still got
Yeah, see, now you know why he didn't just end it with 8, because he can bring it back around and then end it.
We're looking down at you now, praying love overcomes all the greed. So listen to your heart now, 'cause time is running out now. Share a little love now, listen to the angels right
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I heard a couple points in there too, Mr. Wondrous, where it sounded like it might have been a Mellotron, but I don't know. Any Mellotron in the album?
Yeah, there'll be some on there. Yeah, it
I
makes
thought I
sense.
heard a little bit there.
It's all plugins. It's what I happen to have on my computer. You know.
Exactly.
But
I mean,
sound wise, I spend hours and hours and hours getting the right sound. What I can hear it in my head. I'm not because I'm not a keyboard player. I
Right.
So I like all the solos. I'm literally just writing it in, writing it in with the mouse, and but sound wise, yeah. Once I've got the thing, then I get right. Okay, what is the sound for this that's in my head or works within the mix, and I can again. I'm not one of these. Not being a keyboard player, I don't edit. It's all presets, you know. But I go through and go, that's the one,
Yep.
and then I add things to that and go, you know.
yeah, who's got time for all that, man? That's what presets are for. That's what patches are for. We don't need all that. You know, we're not Keith Emerson in front of that, you know, with a million different wires coming. Nobody's got time for that anymore, man. We got more important things to do, like you know, do YouTube videos supporting and promoting a brand new album from one of my favorite modern prog bands, Kite Parade. I've got Andy and Nikki from Kite Parade. Kevin, you've heard the album all the way through, haven't you? This is not your first
well,
run through?
no,
Or did you just hear the
I
thing?
only heard bits and pieces as I was editing it up, and I heard the 3 singles. So
Right,
this
right.
is a lot of this for the first time.
Okay.
And I'm definitely hearing you got to listen to it all together,
Yeah,
though.
it's quite strange for me to listen to it in bits because
Yeah.
they feel really short because I'm used to hearing it as one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
it'd be like
I
taking
don't
thick
really
as a
get-
brick and you chop it up. It doesn't work the same thing. And this is really meant to be listened all together, I believe, which I love. I love that you don't go out and spend all day tweaking a new unique synth sound. We like hearing
Yeah,
some
we
of
do.
these traditional sounds.
We
you know?
do. You know, the Hammond organ sounds perfect. It sounded perfect since 1966. You don't need to monkey with it, man. It is what it is. It's the greatest thing ever. Just like a Mellotron, right? I mean, there's a reason why bands still to this day use Mellotron because it's just an amazing sound. But this is not just a retro prog album here. What I'm hearing here, Kevin, Andy, Nikki, is a whole lot of everything. And I love the fact that, you know, yeah, the first 2 albums kind of had some, you know, things and influences you could point to. I'm hearing a band that's kind of figuring out who they are, an artist who's kind of figuring out his own voice. Because, you know, there might be little snippets that remind me of stuff, but overall, this album doesn't sound like anybody else. It only sounds like Kite Parade.
Oh, that's good.
That's
to
kind
know.
of cool.
And yeah, even from the first, you know, the first album, people said you have a sound which is, and even Rob at the studio, sometimes I play him and he hasn't heard it before, and they go, Oh, that's very. Well, he doesn't say Kite Parade. That's very you know. Andy,
And
that's
there's
very,
nothing wrong with that. I mean, every band kind of has their own little signature sound. A lot of bands would die to have that, right? Because you think about a band and you think about a certain sound, you can, kind of put your mind on it and hang your hat on it. And it's called a hook, people. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with music that's catchy and interesting. But I just wanted to say real quick, before we came on today, I was listening to Retro again. And man, that intro for the title track, that dude that talks about, man, I just want to be famous. I just want everybody to know who I am. I'm like, oh, wait a second. That's me. I'm that guy. So
that's hilarious.
I just realized that. So that was a lot of fun. And the other thing that I noticed about the new album here, Andy, is I don't know if this was a conscious decision on your part or not, but it does feel a little more diverse. Whereas the first two albums kind of stayed within a certain type of music, whereas this, I'm hearing a lot more stuff. Was that something you were like trying to do, or did that just come naturally as you were writing these songs?
No, I don't try to do anything. It just whatever comes out. Of course, the Way Home and some of the Retro are very old. They were written a long time ago, whereas this was, even this is old now. I mean, musically, 4 years old, really.
That's crazy.
But everybody's gonna change, I'm not purposely changing. It just maybe you listen to different stuff, different styles, and some of it seeps through. I try not to let it influence me too much, but.
So where you would be considered crossover prog, you on this side you got the traditional, pop music, and then over here you got good old prog.
Yeah. Well,
do you try to live in a certain space there? Do you ever want to go more one way or the other, or it just happens and it happens?
No, exactly. Wherever it goes. I mean, I wouldn't release anything which I'm not happy with. For me, hit chords or create a solo or whatever. It still needs to excite me, and even 4 years on, I'm listening to stuff. I'm waiting. Oh, is this bit coming up? That particular chord, I go, oh, I love it.
Okay, Jim.
Well, I'm proud of it.
All right, we got a question here. Jim was a little late popping in, so that's all right. We're not hating on you, Jim. The album is out. It was released on Friday on White Night. It's available on digital and CD. There is no vinyl yet on that, but you know what? Rob's he's not against putting vinyl out, and he's not against putting out older titles on vinyl, old Tiger Moth Tales, that was only on CD. So let's buy, don't wait. Don't be like, well, I'm going to be all coy and wait for vinyl. Buy the CD, because if Rob sees significant sales on this, there will most certainly be a vinyl release, but it ain't going to happen if nobody buys the CD. So please buy the CD. It's available now, right now. Where can they get this, Andy? I know in the UK it's probably easier for folks, but you know.
If you opted the download, then go to the Kite Parade bandcamp page. So that's and you get the CD on there as well, and it's also available on the White Night site as well. So on either really.
Bandcamp is
distributors around the world. They'll be selling their own copies.
That's the way to go.
But for the download, come to the Kite Parade Bandcamp, and CDs and T-shirts and or White Night. Yeah. So
Stephen Foster. Are you hip to him? Mr. Wondrous wants to know if you are hip to Stephen Foster and how important he is to our musical. What's our musical heritage? Are you from the UK, Mr. Wondrous, or is he's saying our like the humanity? What's that all about?
I don't know. I don't know Stephen Foster. No.
Yeah.
He's not a relative.
I think that's what he was alluding to. Anyway, and I got one more question from the Garden Jester, who's been with us from the very beginning. Thank you for joining the live stream. Wants to know if you're already working on new material, because we seem to be following a pattern right here. 2022, 2023, 2024. One has to assume you've got an idea for one in 2025, right, Andy?
I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you all here. I'm very busy, really busy at work. My daytime job. means that I'm not actually in the country a lot of the year. And the situation where I work, I can't make the noise. I can't work on the stuff because I'm just too busy. No, I am working on tracks. I think I've sorted out 3 or 4. So separate track. I can tell you it's not going to be another sort of concept 1-track thing, and back to sort of individual tracks at the moment. But no, it won't be out next year. I just haven't got the time.
So, so there you go. Get your fill now.
Or go buy so many, he can quit the other job and do what he should be doing, music.
That's, Now, wouldn't that be lovely in a lovely world,
Yeah.
We can make it happen. We can change the world. If you... Too many people think that, the world is the way it is. Oh, boo-hoo, there's nothing I can do about it. That's absolute poppycock. It all starts with one idea, starts with one word, starts with one person. We can turn that little spark into a flame. We absolutely can. That flame can turn into an entire forest fire. That's what we're doing here at the Prog Corner. One convert at a time, one set of ears at a time, one great artist at a time.
Tour, Scott. That sounds quite good.
There you go. There you go. Well, man, this has been awesome. I have been just absolutely honored, Andy, Nikki, for you to join us. Listening to the brand new album, Disparity, the 3rd album from Kite Parade, one of my favorite modern prog rock bands. And if you don't know it already, then I don't know. I guess you guys haven't been listening to me for the past 3 years. Kevin, was that good for you?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan. Unlike you, Scott, I have his first 2 albums in my top 10 and 5. I think one of them even was in the top 5. So huge fan, because this is prog radio's sweet spot. Crossover prog, melodic, accessible, but interesting because it's prog.
Not interesting because it's prog, Kevin. Interesting because it's awesome, and that's all we care about. We care about awesome music.
Well, I mean to say, because it's got prog elements, it makes it interesting.
There you go. But,
I just want to thank you guys for inviting me. This has been a real laugh, and I appreciate all the work you do for, not just for Kite Parade, but all of us. Crikey, it's so hard to get anything out there. So
it is.
I myself and everybody else appreciate what you guys do. So.
It's rough out there, man, but the reality is that 50 years ago, artists that we care about and love were selling millions and millions of copies, selling out stadiums and arenas around the world. Most of these people are still alive, okay? Their hearts are still beating, their ears are still working, and even if half of them were dead already, they got kids. So we're going to get them one at a time, one new prog fan at a time. We're absolutely going to get them. My guest today has been Andy Foster from Kite Parade and his partner, Nikki. Brand new album, Disparity. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Kevin, as always, thank you so much. I could not do this without you. I really appreciate all your help and support. And with
Glad
that,
to support.
Yeah.
Let's see some snakes.
It's time for the outro. You know what's happening. I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East. Free the Ukraine. Free Tibet. Free Willie, and God save the king. Oh, King Chucky needs your saving right now. Bring that boy to America. Oh, we need to bring that boy to America right now. We got them good doctors. Oh, we got good doctors, and we got even better pastors. We're going to do thoughts and prayers. Oh, yeah, we are. Our prayer warriors are working 24/7. Oh, how's the king doing? Oh, I don't know. Let's go check on him. Oh, I don't think he's doing so good, so we're bringing him to America, and we're going to drink some poison. No, that's not going to do any good. You know what's going to do good, Andy?
What's that, mate?
Hey, Billy Bob, bust out them snakes. We're going to dance with snakes. Oh, yeah. We're going to do some dancing with these rattlesnakes. The armor of God's going to protect me. It's going to protect King Chucky. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow when I'm interviewing the one, the only Neil Morris on the show. Just amazing. We're going to be talking about his brand new album, No Hill for a Climber. I'll see you fools then. Peace.